accused of spying, Cheng Lei spent 3 years in Chinese detention. Now the Australian journalist is exposing the grim reality of life behind bars in China.
Thank you for taking time out to do this interview with us, Mr. President.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure for me.
Born in China, Cheng Lei grew up in Melbourne. In 2001, she moved back, eventually anchoring on the state-run English-language station CGTN.
The censorship standard for the English channel is much more loose.
But on August the 13th, 2020, Cheng Lei vanished.
Getting bundled into a car, taken off to a facility.
Snatched from her office in Beijing, Lei would spend the next 6 months in isolation without charge.
A cell with 2 people controlling everything you do day in, day out.
In February 2021, China revealed Lei was accused of supplying state secrets overseas. The details of the charge were never made public.
It's almost 100% conviction rate if you're actually arrested and charged in China.
Cheng Lei was seized during a point of acute tension in the Australia-China relationship in 2020. It's hard not to conclude that her detention was politically motivated.
The mother of 2 tried behind closed doors more than a year later, but she wasn't told the verdict.
It's incredibly difficult not knowing when things are going to end. At least when you have a date, you can prepare your mind and your body.
In a love letter to Australia, Lei wrote,
"I miss the sun. In my cell, the sunlight shines through the window, but I can stand in it for only 10 hours a year. Most of all, I miss my children."
She's missed her daughter going into high school. Her son will go into high school next year. Those are times she can't get back.
In October 2023, China set Cheng Lei free, claiming she'd pleaded guilty and served her sentence.
Welcome home. Thank you.
Now, Cheng Lei is sharing her story, laying bare the 3 years and 2 months she spent in a Chinese prison, fighting for her freedom.
And Cheng Lei is with us on the desk now. Thank you. Thank you. So happy to be here. You are such a warrior, and your book it kind of details your survival in a Chinese prison. But I want to begin at the start, which was with you in isolation for 6 months. Can you describe what that was like?
Well, first of all, you are so shocked and full of anguish, about what you've possibly done wrong. Your mind is on fire, but then your body needs to be completely still, and you cannot move without permission, and you're stared at by 2 people. So I don't know of any other regime that has torture like that, and it strips you of your identity. It makes you feel utterly powerless, as if those guards can see into your soul, this distance, and 2 people at all times. So it's a really bizarre type of torture called RSDL, which Chinese lawyers have tried for years to abolish.
Wow.
And I hope by telling people what this is like, we'll have more voices around the world to call for this abhorrent
You had to even
practice.
ask for permission to scratch your face. Is that right?
Well, you just cannot make any moves without getting permission.
Wow.
And those were the only words that you could say in a day. And this is from, we're all chatterboxes, we're all professional gossips. And then you cannot say anything, and you're full of questions. You can't ask for the time even. So it's just,
Oh, wow. I mean, but then there's also just the emotional side of it, the life stuff. You missed 3 years of your kid's life. How do you come out the other side of that? Is it bitterness? Is it anger? Is it gratitude that you see them again? What is that moment?
obviously there's a lot of sense of loss.
Yeah.
But I don't dwell on that because it's already done. Mm. And I'd rather spend time thinking, how am I going to make things better for my kids, for myself, for other people still suffering in incarceration, and think about how things could have been worse. Perhaps had we not changed governments and had our diplomacy efforts not been so strong, that I'd still be there. And that thought keeps me quite content.
How did you get through it, though, like day to day? How did you do it? It just seems amazing.
I think people, if they read my book, will see that that wasn't the only test that I've been given in life, and I'm almost, feel like saying to the heavens, "Please, no more." You know I'm strong now. It's okay. So all the adversity I had to deal with before did prepare me a little for the ultimate catastrophe, but also I had support from average Australians. A nun who didn't know me but heard about my plight wrote to me in detention. All of you guys, at one time or another, in some way or another, spoke up for me. And the other day, my son told me, after there was a story about me in the papers that came out, and someone in his class read it and then gave him a hug. And that's our country.
Didn't you also find a way to make things fun, in a way, while you actually had to keep your mind busy? So what did you do to kind of rail against the boredom and the horror of it all?
Well, the thing is, we have so much at our fingertips. We don't have to do anything to be entertained, to be soothed, to be rid of boredom. And in there, you have to do everything yourself. A lot of mental heavy lifting. You've got to be your own coach, your own priest, your own physical coach, as a trainer, and you have to just keep talking to yourself. For example, I told myself that a burpee hurts wherever you are, and learning vocab in a new language perhaps can be quite a chore anywhere. And I would combine those two. I would be doing a squat and then trying to remember vocab at the same time. And you can be outside and still think, oh, I've got to do another squat.
Just doing the squats enough, really.
That sounds like
Apart from anything else, you've revolutionised the education system. Burpees and spelling and vocab at the same time sounds like a remarkable exercise.
PE and
there is so much more to your story as you've gestured towards. There's no way we could do justice here, but that is the book if you want to get all of it. Chang Lei's book, A Memoir of Freedom. It is out on Wednesday. Would you please thank Chang Lei?